right. Good to see you all. Almost the 7th week of the summer, so we'll finish up strong this week. Get doing exams next week, a couple practices, some testing, and then guys have got a couple weeks off to get back here for the fall. So it's been a good 6.5 weeks, 7 weeks, and just trying to get better every day.
You guys have really different fives this year than you did last year. How does that change the rest of the offense?
Yeah, just more versatility, so we can do different things. We have some guys that can step away from the basket, space the floor for their teammates and for themselves. And I think we have some big guys that can shoot the ball as well, and put the ball on the floor. So it just gives a different dynamic, different way to score sometimes.
Is this closer to what you want your fives to look like?
Yeah, I love big guys that can really move, and you can press with them and play differently on defense. But the offensive side of it, versatile big guys and pull people away from the basket, just give you more opportunity to do different things.
Mike, where are you guys health-wise at this point, and how much do you err on the side of caution this early in the process, knowing what a grind is going to be?
Yeah, we err a lot. I guess we have a couple guys with some bumps and bruises, so just sit them out and get them right. And my number one goal now is for finishing up the summer is have these guys feeling really good going home, so they feel even better when they get back after a couple days at home and get ready for an exciting fall semester and a lot of work. But you want them to come back with clear minds and healthy bodies for sure.
And what's your schedule like? When do you finish up now, and when do you get back into things?
Finish up the 9th, and they'll get back the weekend before school starts, and we'll get rolling right away. And I think the first practice is September 23rd. September 23rd will be the first official practice. So it seems like it gets earlier every year, but we'll be ready.
What have you learned about this group this summer that you didn't know coming in?
I like how well they get along. I like how they bond on and off the court. I think we have more versatile depth, more than I thought. I thought we did, but we're just watching and being with them every day. I think we have more guys that can play in multiple positions. I think our lineups could really vary throughout the year, but there's depth there. And the new guys, I think they've just impacted our program very positively. The way they act, the type of teammates they are, how they're living in the gym all the time, and their approach. So that's how you build a program. High character with good talent is a good combination.
With a guy like Jarrod, who's coming from a little bit of a lower level of basketball, what's the ramp-up period for him like through the summer?
Well, we threw him in the deep end from day one. I have high expectations of him, and he wants that. And I think the way he's grown up playing is a lot similar to how we played than where he was at in the past. And I think he's excited about how he can show off his versatility. He'll catch a ball at the top of the key and be a point forward a lot. I think he's really excited about that. So we've asked him to do a lot this summer, and we expect a lot out of him. But he's been answering the call for sure. He's a lot of fun to coach, and he's very, very coachable. And I think that really helps in any type of transition.
A lot of the younger guys, the returning guys, talked about how getting used to Big Ten play was a big priority this offseason with their bodies. With someone like Yannick, how do you kind of make sure he's good to go from the jump as opposed to needing time a year to adjust or something?
Yeah, well, it goes back to my impatience, but in a good way. Just because they're a new guy or they're a freshman doesn't mean like we have to wait on them. Let's help them. Let's really push them. My urgency coaching a freshman is no different than coaching a returning player. We're going to be very demanding of great effort and playing the right way, but also know they have great support, and I think that helps Yannick. Yannick has made some plays, and he's probably looking at us like, can I do that? Yeah, keep going. You're a basketball player. You'll be a basketball player. So I think spend a lot of time with these new guys and the transfers, supporting them, allowing them to fail at times this summer, knowing that that you add those failures up, you learn a lot from them, and that's how you grow and get better.
On the flip side, Kachi's one of those guys who's come from a top-tier basketball program and then found his way at Penn State. Is there a value in taking that journey?
Yeah, well, I think a value for all these guys that are in college to go to another college is their experience, good or bad, whatever they learned at the last place, they can add. what they've gone through, they could avoid the next one. If it, if it's a negative thing, so you have to learn from your experiences. The older you get, you understand that. We try to teach our guys this all the time, and having real heart-to-heart conversations with Kachi, here's what I think you can do. Here's what you're capable of doing. It's going to be a journey here. What you did at the previous school, let's learn the good and the bad and bring it with you, and use that experience to propel you, make you better. I think he's done that. And he's a very coachable kid like Yannick. So the player he is now, I think come January he's going to be a lot better, just because he's going to get more comfortable and continue to really work.
Mike, we've heard who your Big Ten opponents are. Do you have a sense for how the schedule is going to play out? And I ask that because how do you handle the West Coast end of it?
Worry about that when it gets here. Honestly, I don't know our schedule. We know who our opponents are, but we don't know the
Are you anxious to get it so you could start planning?
Yeah, but we didn't get it for until late summer, so I'm not holding my breath. So I'll just wait until it gets here. We'll be ready. And if you make excuses, then you already have your beat. And we're not going to make any excuses. We got to go play whomever, wherever. We're going to do it.
Have you done any preliminary searching for those kinds of things? Travel and
yeah, I've talked to some coaches that make some of those coast-to-coast swings and going out west and coming back, but I don't think it's probably different than football. I know football has really dove into that, and I'll talk to those guys as well, and just pick brains of different coaches that have gone through it, and operations guys. It's more logistics than it is the game itself. Once the ball goes up, you're either a player or you're not. You're either going to compete that day or you're not. It's more the logistics part of it. What's the best time to go out there on that? We'll continue to work on that. We've talked to some coaches. I got a staff that knows everybody all over the country, so that has helped. We have a file on travel and logistics and all that.
We saw last year you guys went small quite a bit, but you didn't really start small a lot. Would you envision lineups where it's like Buff and Nick at the 5, given that you're returning, or your guys at the 5 aren't returners and aren't all that experience?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the neat thing about that is we have options. Where last year, some of that was we didn't always have options, or we didn't have much depth. So we are trying to make some decisions to prolong the game in our players. I think this year we have more depth, so we can play big longer, we can play small longer. I think we can play 3 handlers because some of our handlers are bigger now. So that's the neat thing right now in just our second year here, that we can play with a lot of versatility and play with different lineups. Somebody, you have one?
Yeah. Last year the team struggled a bit on the glass. Just do you think this group of bigs is like tangibly a little bit better than last year's? We better
because we wanted to recruit that we to be a better rebounding team. I think that will improve our defense tremendously and our numbers. We gotta rebound as a team better. Getting some bigger, more athletic guys definitely should help, but they got to go get the ball. But I also think we got some wings and some guards, bigger and more athletic. Like Freddie, one thing, I knew Freddie in high school was a really good defensive rebounder. It's translated here in college. He can get it. He's a good defensive rebounder and can take off with it. That's a huge advantage. So rebounding's been a huge advantage all summer, a huge emphasis all summer. It has to be important to us because it really hurt us last year.